Well, hello there, Carol Dockum here with Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. And I'm so excited because we have launched a brand new program here called the Mini-Masterclass Series, where we bring in our success team members. And you're probably wondering who are success team members. And they are speakers, trainers, coaches, and experts that are passionate about their subject matter, and they help their clients with a transformation to help you up-level your place in business. So I'm really excited today. Our mini masterclass series today, our topic is win clients with your signature talk. And our presenter today is the fabulous Mary Kraemer. She is the energetics of speaking coach. So I'd like to ask you, if you desire to speak in front of a group, does that terrify you? Do you have a message of importance that you would like to share with others? Or are you ready to quantum leap your speaking skills? If so, you are in the right place. Mary Kraemer has positioned herself as a leader in energetic speaking. Her career as a registered nurse spans 40 plus years. She has given over 10,000 presentations, wow, and has impacted many businesses during her speaking engagements. She has studied with some of the most prolific minds in the holistic health, wellness, and business industries. Her areas of expertise include medical meditation, stress management, intuitive strategist, international speaker, and coach, as well as being an expert in energy transformations. So if you're ready to create and explore your future as a speaker, this mini masterclass series is for you. In today's mini masterclass, you will learn the real reason why you want to speak. What do you want to speak about? Who is considered your ideal client? Where to find speaking engagements? I think many speakers struggle with that one. And how to captivate your audience and win clients with your signature talk. Please help me welcome Mary Kraemer.
Goodness, thank you so much, Carol. It is so much fun being a part of Beautiful Faces Going Places and being able to share with everyone. While I have some slides, and while I pull up these slides, I want all of us to kind of connect together. So I'm going to speak with you while I'm doing a little bit of back end stuff here. If you will, I'd like you to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Great. Why don't you do that again? Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. As you inhale, I'd like you to think about what it is that you would either like to create a signature talk about, or if you already have your signature talk, how would you like to expand your audience? Who do you see in your audience? Is it men? Is it women? Is it corporate individuals? Is your audience made up of entrepreneurs? How many people are there? How well did it go? Of course, it went fabulous, right? We take nothing less than that, right? One does not need to be concerned about when you're in front of a group because you're the expert. You might make a mistake. It's okay. You just fix it as you go along. So as you're taking that last inhalation, I want you to envision yourself in front of a group of people. You just had a fabulous talk. People cannot wait to work with you. And then I think I forgot to tell you to exhale. So don't hold your breath. Just exhale and know that you have done a splendid job in sharing your vision of your expertise with your future audience. When you're ready, just gently blink your eyes open, kind of come back to earth, and then I'll share a few things with you. And I'm just looking at people's eyes to make sure they are here. Just need to double check. Can everyone see my slides? Yes. Okay, good. So Carol already told you what we're going to talk about today. It's how to captivate your audience and win clients with a signature talk. She already shared with you also what we're going to learn, but I want to, as I go through these bullet points, I want you to think about what this means to you. Really, what is the real reason that you yourself want to speak? What would you like to speak about? Who do you consider your ideal audience? It's different for everyone. And then where to find speaking engagements. And I'm going to tell you a secret. There's a lot of them. So here's just a little scoop about me. I've been a nurse for over 40 years. I have the pleasure of being an international speaker and coach. I've authored a couple books. I'm a medical meditation and stress management consultant. I consider myself an expert in energy transformation as almost as long as I've been a nurse, which is a really long time. I've also been studying energy medicine and the exchange, the transformation that takes place. I've studied with a lot of people and I've paid a lot of money to study with a lot of people. I consider myself the energetic speaker because what I really like to do is bring in the laws of the universe. I utilize my nursing background. You'll hear me give some examples in the nursing world and the medical world, but it makes sense. And then what I also do is use quantum physics, but I put it all together so that it really just makes sense for where we are now in the world today. I've authored a couple books. And as Carol said, I've given many, many, many presentations to corporate individuals, to hospitals, in breakout sessions. And I've had so much fun doing it. And here, I have not added Carol's logo here yet. I'm so sorry, Carol. These are just some of the organizations that have been impacted, that I have impacted over the years. However, my speaking career didn't start out very well. As a little girl, when I was in school, I always got that red check mark for talking too much. Kid you not, every single time. And I was looking for something the other day in my cedar chest. I'll tell you about it later. And I actually found this one report card, can't believe I still have this, that says no check marks. I think it was only once in my whole life as a child, when I was a child. But the 8th grade was a turning point, and this is the trophy I won. And I was looking to see if I still had my original trophy. I do not have it. And I'm so disappointed because I didn't realize back then in the 8th grade, really what I would be doing now. So every year in the language arts class, I didn't know this, of course, at the time, but you give talks in front of the group, and then they have this competition, and I won the competition for my room, and that meant that I was able to go like up to the big high school because I was only in junior high, and there were judges, and apparently these judges liked what I have to say at that time because I got the first place trophy. And back then, I had no idea that I eventually would become a speaker, a keynote speaker, and work with classes of individuals. But I have, and it's so much fun. And I personally think it's really fun to speak. These are just a few of the things that I've done. I worked as an event speaker at Katrina Sawa's event. And what I did there, I was also her client at the time. And I led the beginning of the class to get everybody ready, get them in an energetic state to prepare for a day of learning. And when you set the intention, it really makes a difference. And you can do that as a speaker as well. You can set your intention as you're writing your program. You can set your intention before you actually speak. And sometimes you'll even change it up based on how the energy feel of the room. Carol Dockum had a Women's Success Summit last year. I think it was in November, and I was one of the speakers. It was so much fun. And then also you can do breakout speaking, and I did that with No Glass Ceilings several years ago. So what's the real reason that you want to speak? The idea is to impact your audience, influence your audience, and inspire your audience. Business aspect wise, you might speak to do list building. Increase your credibility. The more people that hear about you, the more credible you become, the more the topic that you have can become relevant in individuals' conversations, and that gives you increased exposure. You want to showcase your area of expertise. Everybody has something that they're really good at. Many people have many areas of expertise that they're really good at. And you want to share that with a large group of people. Nothing against one-on-one, but what if you can envision yourself in front of maybe less than 10 people, maybe a couple hundred people, maybe a couple thousand people? Showcase that area of expertise that you have worked hard to obtain over the years. What does impacting, influencing, and inspiring your audience lead to? Income. It leads to income. Whether you're getting paid as a keynote speaker, whether you're speaking, not getting paid, however, then you get paid at the back end, or you are able to share an offering or a class or a mastermind that you have coming up. However that is, it becomes income to you, whether you achieve it at the beginning before your talk or at the end of your talk. What would you like to speak about? Well, there's many categories, and I just kind of put them down into about 8 of them here. One could be an inspirational or a motivational speaker. There's communications, health and wellness, technology. Think about it. Facebook and LinkedIn, they're constantly changing, and people need to be able to stay abreast of things to keep their business moving forward. What about change or transformation? How many people here listening maybe do health and wellness for healthy living, healthy lifestyle, healthy nutrition? Those are some things that could be change and transformation. Maybe you help a mom who has a baby that just cries all the time. There is always someone that is willing to listen to what you have to say. You have leadership, there's sales and marketing, and then there's entrepreneurship. When you're looking at who you consider your ideal audience, think of these items. First off, what do I have to offer? Look at your repertoire. Think of yourself as an orchestra leader, the conductor. You have many, many items within your business that you could talk about. But what do you really want to talk about? What you want to talk about may not be what your audience wants to hear. Is there an audience for what you want to share? And that's really important. Is your talk educational, motivational, or comedic? Do you want to speak to small groups, to large groups, to conventions, maybe even have an executive roundtable with individuals, with CEOs of companies? Is your ideal audience entrepreneurs? Is it corporate? Do you want to lecture only? Do you want to have education with audience participation? Makes a difference. Then you get to decide, do you want to stay local? But now with Zoom, we can be all over the world, right? Do you want to travel to speak? Do you want to do international speaking? And then do you want to have live speaking events or online? And today there's quite a mixture. It's really hybrid out there. So you've got this idea, you want to speak. You're not sure though where to get speaking engagements. There's a lot of places, and these are actually just a few. There's associations, local or regional. And each of these has different criteria to meet, and the individual running the event would be able to share that with you. There's high schools, colleges, a lot of university clubs at colleges will bring in speakers. There's corporations, not-for-profits. There's events every single day. Do you know that there is around 7,000 speaking opportunities just in the US alone on a daily basis? You have podcasts, there's TV, there's radio, webinars, master classes like we're here today. And the best thing you can do is ask for referrals. Every time you speak, I want you to ask for a minimum of 3 referrals. I've kind of categorized everything that people speak about into this picture. We speak about physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or financial situations. It can be an individual, it can be to corporations. I like to say that we're reflecting, we're releasing, we are energizing our room or our group that we're speaking to, and ultimately what is taking place is a transformation, because you've started somewhere, you're ending somewhere, and in between, you're sharing your skills, your gifts, and your knowledge. And if you want to speak, you honestly need a compelling signature talk. I want you to be able to expand that talk or decrease the length of the talk. You know, we've all heard, like, you have this elevator pitch, okay, 30 to 60 seconds. Some people say 15 seconds. I would never survive that, just telling you. So if you take that talk and you have your signature talk, you can drop it down to little snippets of information. However, the other thing that you can do is, what if you took that talk and you turned it into a 1, 2, or 3 hour class? Great. You have the bullet points, you're going over things, you're sharing just enough information. And then sometimes people have enough information that they actually could turn it into a full day, like a 1, 2, 3 day event, or even a week-long retreat, depending upon what it is that you have to offer. But it all starts with your signature talk. So you can take that signature talk, I call that in the middle of your diagram per se, and then off to your left is the smaller amounts of time. Off to the right is your larger amounts of time, your retreats. All you do is change it up. You have experiential exercises that you do. Maybe instead of giving one example, you give 2, 3, and 4 because you want to get your point across. You want to emphasize certain things. You have a lot more audience participation at a retreat than maybe you do in a 60-minute session, right? So I truly want you to be able to take that signature talk, expand it or decrease it based on the audience and what it is that you're attempting to accomplish at that particular time. And I want you to know it so well that you can switch it up to meet your audience needs. I don't want you to be perfect, because most speakers truly are not perfect. I mess up all the time, and I either just gloss over it, or I'll tell my audience, I go, you know what, I screwed up, or I forgot where I was. And you ask your audience and they'll tell you, and they will help you. And they feel so good that they were able to help you and get you back on track, because if you got lost, then they got lost too. Okay, you can feel and read the energy of the room. You know if you need to switch your talk as you're speaking. And that's why I say, know it so well, you can switch it up to meet the needs of your audience. Have fun. Oh my gosh, have fun. You want to know it, but don't memorize it. There are very few people that truly memorize their talk. And here's a little trick. At these big events, I tell you, when I was watching them on Zoom, I had no idea that in front of the room, they had these monitors, and it had an outline of their talk, or it had important bullet points that they wanted to speak about. And I kid you not, I would sit there and I watch in awe of these folks going, how do they do this? How do they talk for days at a time? How come they don't get messed up? How come they remember everything? They have cues. Just like I actually have a little sheet off to the side. If I kind of get lost, then I can look at it and see where I am. So have fun when you're in front of a group. However, you do need to solve a problem, or you will not get speaking gigs. The audience needs to feel fulfilled. They need to feel like they have learned something, and you need to have a problem to solve so that you can acquire that audience to listen to you. And this is where I come in. I come in because if you don't have a signature talk and you really would like to have one, I'm the girl to help. I utilize universal laws, and I use them as a guide to your storytelling or creating your signature talk. So some people might be saying that are watching and go, well, what's a universal law? Well, there's a universal law of opposites. So I know everybody's sound is turned off, but I want you to think in your head as I say this. If I say the word up, you think the word down. If I say the word right, you go left. If I say in, you think out. If I think hot, you think cold. Those are laws of opposites. So in storytelling, you can always have a universal law of opposites. It creates a point in your expression. If you have a table that's 3 feet off the floor, you go from floor to table, it's 3 feet. You go from table back to floor, it's another 3 feet. It does not change. It is 3 feet. That's the law of opposite. But what if in your talk you utilize the law of transformation? So what's that law? Well, that's easy. Everybody can think of a pot of water on a stove. It just sits there. Then you boil it. Then it has steam come up. So there's been a transformation or a transmutation. If I take that same water and I put it in a freezer, that water will freeze. So we've gone from liquid to a solid state to, I don't know what you call the steam state if you want to know the truth, but you understand that you've taken the law of mutation, and you've given a story. So what do you have in your repertoire of gifts that you would like to share with the world that causes a transformation or a transmutation? You can utilize that in your talk as you're creating your story. Kind of because I'm a nurse, things of healing, right? So I created this acronym associated with the word heal me. And here's how it goes. H is for hear me now. And we'll go into this a little more deeply as time goes on here. E means to empower others. A is for alignment. L, learn transformational language. Each topic that you have, your area of expertise, has its own language. Utilize it. You have monetize. And then I flipped too quick, but the other one is expanding your audience. So that is hear me. So here's hear me now. Your voice matters, and I really want you to share what you know. If you are the best kept secret, you're not serving anyone. Serve that ideal audience. Draw in the people that are meant to hear you, that are meant to hear your message. Empower others. You want to really understand who you're talking to and speaking with and tailor your message. So let's say that you're a corporate speaker, but you're in front of a bunch of entrepreneurs. Is your message going to be as powerful for those entrepreneurs? Maybe yes, maybe no, but probably not. If you really want to know, you ask your host. I asked Carol, the host, about her attendees. I know what Beautiful Faces Going Places is all about. And we had a discussion yesterday of what some topics were that we thought were important to share with the audience members. Alignment. This is who is your ideal audience. I want you to think that if I'm speaking to a bunch of farmers, love farmers, and I want to show them how to sew a garment. Do you think I'm going to capture their attention for very long? I always say maybe yes, maybe no. However, probably not. Alignment also is many speakers will grab any opportunity to speak just so that there's bodies in a chair and they get some experience. Here's why I don't think that's the best opportunity. You might be getting some experience, but where it's really valuable is to be in front of your ideal audience. Then you capture, take what you know. Every speaker learns something from their audience every time they speak in front of a group, whether it's a small group or whether it's a huge group. Each speaker is learning something. Your ideal goal is to have your audience experience and learn something as well. Learn transformational language. Okay, so here I am. I'm this nurse. Now, I could teach you how to start an IV catheter because I did it for decades. But how many people in the audience might want to learn how to have an IV catheter inserted in somebody else? Probably not. However, you can take quantum leaps in your speaking if you take the language of your area of expertise, even if it's complicated. You take that language and you break it down into simple actions, tasks, stories where people can understand, have those transmutation take place. That's what's important about having transformational language with regard to the specifics that you want to teach others. And then you want to monetize. And then how do you monetize your gifts? Okay, so let's say you have a book. That could be immediate money. You sell a book, someone pays you, ding, 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 there's money. However, what if you plan for the future elevation of your revenue? How is it that you show up in the world? You can have a greater presence by speaking, again, to large groups or small groups or in between. I worked with a person in Australia, and she was asked to speak at a health and wellness event. She was told there was like 46 or 48 people. Well, guess how many people were there? 8. So she was prepared because I told her to be prepared that just because people show or sign up does not mean that they are going to show up. And this was a free event. 8 people showed up out of 46 or 48. So what happened? Out of those 8, 6 people signed up for a one-to-one session with her. Now that is an extremely high conversion rate for your very first talk. And I was so excited for her. So then she had these one-on-ones. Well, what do we do after that? Well, if you have a one-on-one, what if you offer a class, a 1, 2, or 3 hour class? I always say start out with 3 hours. Then out of those 8 people, honestly, I forget, X number of people showed up at her 3-hour event. And I think she offered a couple 3-hour events. It's been years ago. The other thing that she did is we increased her rates by 400%. That was huge for her because she fought it every step of the way. And that's what happens. Our body, our brain wants to keep us where we are. We say we want more, it goes no. Again, this is the law of opposites, right? Well, I want to have all these clients and I want to have all this. And then it goes, no, 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 you can't. And here's why you can't. And so what our body is it's just full of opposites. Think of our muscles and our bones. Muscles are attached to the bones and it keeps us upright. We have flexion and extension. If there was not that contraction going on, we would just be a blob on the floor. Serious, okay? Well, that's the same thing. Our brain is trying to keep us safe. That's why when you say, we did the opposite exercise a little earlier, I said, yes, you think no, you say up, you think down. And that's what happens. The same thing with the brain. The minute you say, I want to charge this for my event, the brain may go, no, 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 you can't. And then it'll give you all kinds of reasons why you can't. But here's the ideal thing. When you monetize, you need to start somewhere. Wherever you are, just know you can always raise your rates. Be comfortable where you are, go a little bit higher, and then each time you do that, it gets easier. Okay, so how do you expand your audience? And what would that look like? Well, you have clients already. So take the clients that you have, offer them a class. Offer them anywhere from 1 to 3 hour classes. Maybe you have enough information for a retreat. Depends how long you've worked with these individuals. So you want to take what you have now, and then you can expand with the individuals that you have now. Then the more that you speak, the more you will be expanding your audience in the future. Does that make sense? Then I see a few people shaking their heads. So I'm hoping by maybe a show of hands, you can let me know, because I can see a few people, who has learned something new today. Yay. Odell said she learned something new. Oh, people are coming back on. Yay, I can see you. Usually I can't see people when I'm giving a talk, and today I can. So thank you, Carol. Whatever you've done, it works. I must not be doing something correct when I do this. I love it that you have learned something new. And we're going to do a little bit of an exercise. I wanted to make sure that I posted this up here because I wanted to give everyone a complimentary 30-minute session to discuss your signature talk if you don't have one. If you already have one and you're thinking you might want to tweak it a little bit or you want to improve it a little bit, make sure you sign up. I have some very specific hours in the evening because I'm in this project right now, and so my days are kind of full, but I want you to do that. If you would like to, I'd love to have you reach out to me. The other thing I want to do is I would like to take us through another guided meditation, if that's okay with you guys. Okay, I see heads shaking, yes. So I'd like you to firmly plant your feet on the ground. Always start with an inhalation. It's a cleansing breath, and you do 3 and it does miracles for the body. So inhale through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose again, do it a little bit slower. Hold it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. Exhale again, nice and slow. Now this third one is the biggest one you've taken. I want you to inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. I forgot that. Gotta exhale. If you'll keep your eyes closed, I want you to envision that you've just walked up to this house that's in the middle of a meadow, and it makes absolutely no sense why there might be a house in the middle of a meadow, beautiful grasslands all around. You've just stepped over a creek and you've walked up to this door. What makes this house so unique is it's made out of crystal. And I'd like you to open up this, walk up the steps, open up the door. And when you look inside, everything is made out of crystal. The walls, the chandelier, the table, chairs are pulled aside for you to sit down. As you take your seat at the table, even though the chair is made out of crystal, which you might think would be hard, it is so comfortable and it's so inviting. And you feel at home, even though This is a very strange place you've never been before. I want you to feel the specialness of the crystal all around you. There's a special person in the room for each of you. That special person is your higher self. Your higher self has a message for you, has several. I will say the questions and set the intention that you remember your answers. The first question you have for your higher self is, what should I speak about? If you place your hand over your heart will always give you the messages, and then the ego stays out of the way. What should I speak about? What are the gifts that I have to offer the world? Who would like to listen to me? Who is my ideal audience? Would I like to speak to a smaller group or a larger group? When I speak to the group, will I be able to convey my gifts in such a way that they have learned and have the capability of transmuting and transforming from the person they were when they walked in the room to the new person they have become when they exit the room? And then I always save a special question for last. You are speaking to your higher self. Your higher self knows all. What is one particular question that you would like to have answered? And I'm going to give you enough time to ask that question to your higher self and to receive the answer. And you all should have your answers by now. I want you to take the opportunity to thank your higher self for making their presence known today, knowing that some people will have seen a being or an individual. Some people might just have a feeling or a knowing, and some people might have received auditory messages. We all learn differently. As you get up from the table after you have thanked your higher self, I'd like you to stop for just a second, look all around the room, and to know that you can go back into the crystal palace of possibilities anytime you would like to and ask questions of your higher self. You turn and you walk out the door. You close the door behind you. And as you're walking across the creek and the meadow and into the grass, it all begins to fade away. And you come back to earth in reality because your feet have been planted fully on the ground. You are gently waking up by blinking your eyes, coming back to reality. You've just had a powerful experience that give you messages for your future. I'm looking to see if I can see people's eyes. I see people blinking and waking up. Yeah, I see Carol. I don't hear her, but I do see her. I'd like to hear from you. I have a couple email addresses here, mary@marykraemer.com, or some people like to use Gmail, so it would be marykraemerrn@gmail.com. Let me hear from you. Let me know how today went. Let me know if you have any questions. We're going to take some later. My whole goal, imagine that you're this guy happily laying in bed, and I have just given you an infusion, an IV infusion of inspiration. I've shown you how you can impact your future audiences and how you can influence them as well. My goal is that you evolve, expand, emerge, energize, and transform every single person that you get to be in front of when you are speaking, because quite frankly, I think it's really fun. And I always show this little man and I do the kind of the we're done, so that you know that we have now completed and finished the mini masterclass of how you can captivate your audience and win clients with a signature talk. So I want to thank Carol for allowing me to have a mini masterclass on this topic today. And my goal is that you've learned one new thing. And if you learned more than one new thing, I'm really excited. So thank you so much, Carol.
You are so welcome. Wow, all I can say is wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Mary, that was amazing. I absolutely loved your how to captivate your audience and win clients with a signature talk. You truly have the gift that you talked about to inspire, impact, and influence. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise today, Mary. We love and adore you. I'm so happy that you included all the contact information. I will share the links below as well. And just want to say thank you so much for joining us here today at Beautiful Faces, Going Places Women's Success Network, as we launched our mini masterclass series. And all of our events are listed on our website at beautifulfacesgoingplaces.com. Come and join us. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye now.